So I wanted to do a first impressions video for the Pieter Levels flight sim game that he has created. Now, I usually do first impressions of digital products, but this is a little bit of a different one because it has so much hype and attention on it, but it's not really a traditional product in the sense that it's solving a problem for someone. It's really just a game that has been created as an experiment by someone with a very large audience, and it's generating $87,000 a month for him, which I think is just primarily in advertising. So I'm going to do my product first impressions video for this. I'm going to use it for the first time, tell you if it's good or bad or what's interesting about it from a product point of view, and then I'm also going to tell you whether it's something that is worth checking out. So yeah, let's jump into the first impression. Okay, here is the Pieter Levels flight sim game. This is usually like when I start using a product, it's all about like the onboarding flow. What does the sign up process look like? How do you optimize the pricing tiers? How can we increase sign up for people? But so many people are using this because it's been posted from someone with a large audience. You can see in the game here in the background, people are advertising in this, reach 100,000 plus people. So over 100,000 people are using this game. This has been done really, and this is something that has a bit of a moment, it's having a bit of a moment, which is 3D and video games generated with AI using coding tools like Cursor and Windsurf, and using new large language models from Anthropic and X, I think in Grok and Claude 3.7 Sonnet. So I'm going to start using this and then let's see how it goes. My first impressions here is like, this is really like, what's nice about this, even though this seems like a really basic and boring and very simple design here, actually like this style of overlay on top of the video game in the background kind of meets the same like design sensibility, in that it's very basic looking and like this geometric like 80s 90s like old school like retro vibe, and so this has like a retro vibe to it as well. It's quite nice. So let's sign up. Type my name, Chris Ashby. Let's join the game. I want to see like what I'm just going to click on some of the things on the page first, so just to figure it out. So that's going to take me through to Pieter Levels X account. Promote your startup. It's going to take me through to Stripe payment. Amazing. So we're just like, it's not even like a contact or like an email or anything here. You just pay Stripe. You just pay Pieter Levels $5,000 and you can advertise on a blimp in game. You put in your information here, and I'm assuming like either it will just be done or there'll be some sort of back and forth to kind of get this, but just the sheer like straightforwardness of that payment. I don't know why I'm surprised. Reach 100,000 plus people. This is going to go to an analytics tool, which just shows how many page views this has had. Again, this is like so transparent. We're just literally linking to a live analytics view of what is happening here. This immediately trust built. Like the closer you can get to the real metric, and this is a good principle for designing products and building products, the closer you can get to showing people the real metric and the real person and the real information, the better the quicker you're going to build trust with people. So like, I trust that I can promote it, that claim is accurate because there's literally a link to an analytics dashboard that proves it. So that's great. And merch now available. I'm not going to click on that. There's also a link down here on the right to ideas and bugs. This is great if you have an audience or if you're building a community product. Crowdsourcing ideas and support and QA and all of that stuff, it can really like make people feel a part of a community. So I'm going to click through there. I'm assuming, yeah, it's just going to be like a place where people can list them. What's nice here is that you can upvote and down, you can't downvote, you can upvote these so we can see what ideas and what bugs need to be addressed first. Very simple, I like it. Let's join the game and see what happens. Okay, username can contain only letters, numbers and underscores. Let's just delete the space there. There we go, we're through. Okay, so I can choose my plane now. One thing that would have been nice on the previous page is actually to have the criteria for the username when I was creating my account. Otherwise I have to get that error message and then type it again. Again, it's like not a big deal, but it's one of those things that like you can avoid some friction just by having that message in there up front. We've got some paid stuff here. So F16 is paid if you want a faster plane. I'm gonna go with, you can be a tank as well, or an alien triangle. That's cool because like, so one thing to think about, and that can be incorporated into products from video games, is what makes games playable like again and again and again. And there are these game principles that you can apply to products to kind of do the same effect. One of those things, one of those principles in video games is randomness. So not knowing something or what you're going to get actually is an incentive to use it or to try and do it. And so you can do that in your own products by like not knowing what the reward for something is going to be, or having a varying reward for doing an action. It's just a really good way to kind of keep people engaged with something because they never know exactly what they're going to get off the back of it. It only works in certain instances, but it can be quite a good mechanism. So let's jump in with this. I'm not going to go for, I'm going to go for just the basic one. Okay, lovely stuff. Let's turn down the volume here. Okay, so if I go WASD, I don't know how to, okay, press escape. Okay, how do I re-show the UI? Okay, so there's 8 players in here at the moment. I'm kind of like just pressing buttons to see what happens. What would be really useful here is to have like, I've closed that UI that appears in the corner. I don't know how to show that again. I'm not sure. Okay, let's just give it a go. I think you just literally like... Okay. And you press spacebar to shoot. This is pretty fun. I'm kind of like steering around, but I don't really know how. Maybe I'm not familiar with flight simulators, so I'm actually like very unaware of what's going on here. I actually thought there would be more ads when I was looking at this. Okay, like all of the ads seem to be concentrated around that starting area. I'm just literally flying around this mountain like again and again. What does this one say? This is more just like an experiment. What? I didn't crash there. Alright, I'm gonna stop this now. Okay, so that's my first impression of this. I don't think there's much more to see here. It's really just an experiment, but let me give you my overall thoughts. Okay, so that was my first impressions of the Pieter Levels flight sim product thing. It really just shows what's possible, I think, with AI powered coding and using the right tools, and it's just like an exploration of what can be done at this point. I think it's not really, I mean, obviously it's not really a fully fleshed out product, it's just like an experiment, and lucky that as an experiment for someone with a big audience, that can kind of be leveraged as advertising space in order to generate a lot of money. And I think that's really the way that that's working from a business point of view. I don't know what the longevity of something like this is, whether this actually like evolves at all or whether it just stays as like an experiment. I get a sense from like the way that Pieter Levels kind of works and builds stuff that this really is just an experiment for now, and maybe there will be some stuff added to it, but it's not too big of a deal, and it's just like a lot of attention in one place with a lot of advertising. To go through my 6 principles for great products, I don't think this is going to meet the criteria very well, but all of those principles are really like focused on building products for long-term value that solve people's problems, rather than being tailored to video games. Like, as a video game, was it fun to play for a little bit? Yes. Would I spend a lot of time in there? Probably not. It's a nice idea. I don't know if the advertising is going to even be converting for people. I guess as a test, as a punt, like there are companies who would feel like that would be worth the money, and so fair enough to them. For Pieter Levels, it's generating a lot of revenue, fair enough to him. I think it's kind of just pushing that movement forwards though of AI coding, and moving it into that video game territory. So we kind of need experiments like this to push the boundaries of what can be done and to show people in a really tangible, real way, like here is something that can be created with this technology if you really think outside of the confines of what we would imagine that it can be used for. And for that, like, hats off. It's done a great job. And yeah, that's my first impression. So if you like the video, subscribe to the channel. You can sign up to my newsletter over on buildgreatproducts.com, and I'll do a new product teardown every week. I also do these first impression videos as well, and I'm planning a bunch more content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.